Hi, good morning. If you're over 40, then I'm sure you'll probably have heard of Spike Milligan. He played Eccles in The Goon Show, and amongst many other things that he did, he wrote silly children's poems like On the Ning Nang Nong, where the cows go bong and the monkeys all say boo. I once heard him say there are only two certainties in life, death and taxes. Although later I've understood actually there was Benjamin Franklin in 1789 who actually penned those words in a letter for the first time. And he said, but in this world nothing can be said to be certain except death and taxes. And certainly for all living things, death is an inevitability, isn't it? But to say someone was born to die, in other words that their primary purpose in being born was to die, seems incredible. But in the context of Jesus, God's Son, we are speaking of one who was born with the express purpose of dying. His death has the potential to impact all who have and will ever live. His death changed human history and the future of this world forever. We are, of course, in the season for specifically remembering again the incarnation of God to this world as a baby. And in Isaiah 53 we read, my servant grew up in the Lord's presence like a tender green shoot, like a root in dry ground. A fragile little thing, a fragile baby, a little child. And yet we go on to read, he was despised and rejected. And as a man of sorrows, acquainted with deepest grief. And ultimately he was pierced for our rebellion, crushed for our sin. Jesus came to earth, God with us, of course, to reveal God to mankind, to teach truth, to fulfill the law, to offer his kingdom, to show us how to live, reveal God's love, heal the sick, and so on. But all of these reasons really are incidental compared to his ultimate purpose. He was born to die. Here's a side to the Christmas story that isn't often told, is it? Those soft little hands fashioned by the Holy Spirit in Mary's womb were made so that one day nails might be driven into them, or driven through them. Those baby feet, pink and unable to walk, would one day stagger up a dusty hill to be nailed to a cross. That sweet infant's head was formed so that one day men might force a crown of thorns onto it. That tender body of a baby, warm and soft, wrapped in swaddling clothes, would one day be pierced by a spear. Jesus, God's Son, was born to die. Don't think I'm trying to put a dampener on your Christmas spirit, far from it. For Jesus' death, though planned and carried out by men with evil intentions, in fact represents the greatest victory over evil anyone has ever accomplished. It's appropriate to commemorate the birth of Christ. But don't make the mistake of leaving him as a baby in a manger. Keep in mind his birth was just the first step in God's glorious plan of salvation, glorious plan of redemption. Remember that it's the triumph of Christ's sacrificial death that gives meaning to his humble birth. We can't truly celebrate one without the other. I trust these thoughts will stay in our hearts through this day for his glory. Have a good day. Thanks.